أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته and good morning to all of us. So today we will discuss about Orientalism, its definition and explanation. However, we will focus only on how Edward Said Orientalism as a discourse, or how Edward Said defined the Orientalism as a discourse. Now let's proceed. So let us first about the author. So who is Edward Said? His full name is Edward Wadi Said. He was born on November 1, 1935 at Jerusalem. He joined an organization NYC on September 25, 2003. He was also a professor in the Department of English and Comparative Literature in Columbia University. And he was a public intellectual who was born as a Palestinian Arab and later became an American citizen. Edward Said is best known for the book Orientalism on 1978. He was also a member of Palestine National Council. So, moreover, marami pa siyang nasalihan ng mga organization. Now, as we go on, let's start our discussion. Orientalism, its definition and explanation. So, on the book of Edward Said, he explained Orientalism. Firstly, Orientalism is a style of thought based upon an ontological and epistemological distinction made between the Orient and most of the time the Occident. So Said argued that his distinction emphasized the supremacy of the Occident versus the inferiority of the Orient. So on the first explanation of Edward Said based about Orientalism is he explained or he defined the Orientalism as a style of thought. Ibig sabihin ay para siya, kumbaga, style of thought that nakabase lang siya sa mga ontological and epistemological distinction which is made between the Orient, or the Orient is according to the Orient is also the East, and most of the time, or the Occident. Yon. So he argued, kumbaga, yan kinontra niya that his distinction be emphasized the supremacy. Kumbaga, yung distinction niya between the Orient and most of the time the Occident ay emphasize the supremacy of the Occident versus the inferiority of the Orient. Now, second, according to him, Orientalism is a field of academic research. Orientalism daw ay is a field of academic research na that includes everyone who teaches, investigates, and writes about the Orient. So, last, Orientalism is a corporate institution for dealing with the Orient, beginning and in the 18th century. Remember, yung Orient ay the East, or parang kumbaga yung Orient, or yung basta malalaman natin yan sa susunod. So, in short, yung mga dinefine or yung mga idea ni Edward Said ay in short, yung Orientalism is a Western style for dominating, restructuring, and having authority over the Orient. Moreover, it is a way of coming to terms with the Orient. So yun na, the East that is based on the Orient's special place in European Western culture and experience. So in the light of this perception, the Middle East is static. Kumbaga, unalterable o hindi pa nila nakikilala. Hindi pa kilala and can't define itself. So because of that, or therefore, through Orientalism, the West took it upon itself to represent the Orient, and by doing so opened it to exploitation. So yun na. The very purpose of Orientalism is to take control of the Orient and take away from it any ability to speak for itself. So yun na, dahil sa Orientalism ay mas nakilala ng Middle East kung ano ba talaga siya, or kung sino ba talaga yung Middle East, or kung ano ba talaga yung Middle East. So, Said maintained that it is the stereotypes and prejudices that determine the Western representation of the Orient. Kumbaga, parang yung past. Now, let's proceed to the Orientalism definition as a discourse, or definition of Orientalism as a discourse. So this is the focus of my topic. So Edward Said also described Orientalism as a discourse. So maliban doon sa mga sinabi niya sa unang explanation sa kanyang book, ay dito sinabi niya rin na Orientalism as a discourse, a definition he takes from the French philosopher and historian Michel Foucault. So this definition pala ay, o ang definition na ito ay nagmula o nakuha niya mula sa isang French na si Michel Foucault. Si Foucault defined discourse as system of thought that governs the knowledge obtained by a person. So ibig sabihin ay dinefine naman ni Foucault yung discourse na ito yung sistema ng, kumbaga, ito yung yung kaalaman na kung saan ay nakukuha o decay a thought that governs the knowledge obtained by a person. So this knowledge is a paraphrase of preconceived notions and ideas. So a discourse is the product of interaction between power and knowledge, interconnected in a never-ending circle. So, yun pala. Kaya pala nakuha naman ni Edward Said, because discourse is the product of interaction between power and knowledge, interconnected in a never-ending circle. So, in Foucault's view, knowledge is a power and also the way of gaining power. Edward Said, following the ideas of Foucault, focused on the relationship between power and knowledge. So, ibig sabihin ay doon naman sa mga ideas ni sa mga sumusunod na ideas ni Foucault naman, diba? Kumbaga, maliban sa mga naunang nasabi ni Foucault na about sa discourse, ay yan focus naman sa mga relationship between power and knowledge. So he argued that without examining Orientalism as a discourse, one can comprehend the hugely systematic discipline by which European culture was able to manage and even construct the Orient politically, militarily, sociologically, sociologically, scientifically, imaginatively, and ideologically during the post-Enlightenment period. So, yun. Dahil doon ay kumbaga, doon sa following ideas ni Foucault naman ay na focus on the relationship between power and knowledge. So, kumbaga, maliban doon ay kinontra niya rin yung mga ideas na kung saan ay without examining Orientalism as a discourse. So, yun na nga, hanggang nun sa katapusan niya ay yan, kumbaga, kung wala rin palang examining or wala ring challenges ay maring di rin mismo makukuha yung kanyang goal o di kaya kung ano yung kanyang sinasabi. Okay, so that's all. Shukran and wassalam.